Resumes only have one purpose in life, and that's to get you an interview. You put a resume in for a job, you get an interview, it's a good resume. You put a resume in for a job that doesn't get you an interview, it was no good. I don't care even if I wrote it for you. If it doesn't get you an interview, it's no good. So how do you know if you've got a good resume or not? Well, it's easily. Let's look at some statistics here. How many interviews are you getting compared to how many jobs you're applying for? I keep stats on mine. I have to. I'm trying to teach people how to do good resumes. How do I know if I'm teaching people the right thing? Well, clearly the market changes over time, and I can pick up on those changes because my stats start to drop. Often my stats are around 85%. Nobody gets interviews 100% of the time. 75 to 85 is actually quite high. Most people don't get anywhere near that. What are your stats? If you're getting, say, over 60%, 6 out of every 10 times you put your resume in, you get an interview, it's a good resume. Leave it alone. If you're slipping below 40%, that you're not getting an interview at least 4 times out of every 10 you're putting it in, then it needs to be changed. And in fact, your resume to work most efficiently needs to be changed for every single job that you go for. Every single job. That old-fashioned approach of having one resume and sending it to 100 different places in the hope that it's right for one of those places is not a successful approach. Tailored resumes, resumes written for this job. What are they looking for here? We used to have this view of the world, and it was a view that worked for a long time, that we have to catch both sides of the brain. So we have to catch the left-hand logical, mechanical, reasoning side of the brain, and we also have to catch the more emotional, feeling, imaginative side of the brain. And we did that by using 2 different documents. So we would catch the right-hand side, the emotional, feeling, intuitive, imaginative part of the brain in the covering letter, and we would catch the mechanical, logical, reasoning side of the brain in the resume. We did that for many, many years. It doesn't work anymore. Even people who ask for a covering letter are paying no attention to them. And the reason for that's quite simple. Most covering letters are just nonsense. They're just introductions to the resume. They don't actually create any value for somebody who's applying for a job. So they get a whole lot of covering letters which read remarkably similar to each other, just introducing the resume. My name is such and such. I am a keen, honest worker, and I think this job would suit me in these ways. And they get the next one that says the same. They get the next one that says the same. They're not being used to distinguish between one person and another, so they're paying very little attention to them. Okay, if we know people aren't paying attention to the covering letter, that changes our resume, because now we have to try and catch both sides of the brain on a resume where in the past we've only caught one side of the brain. Your resume has to become your shop window, your sales brochure, where you put all your best goods on display in their best possible light. Do not fall into this trap of saving something for the interview that's not on your resume. What happens is you don't get an interview. And what if you had to put it on there, you would have got an interview. It's crazy. You can hurt yourself that way. Put all your best goods on display. The problem people make with their resumes is they talk very much about themselves. They'll have a little section there which says career objective. And they'll say, I'm looking for a job where I can do this, this and this, and use this skill to do this. It's talking about yourself. And guess what? It doesn't work. It just simply doesn't work. It's a waste, again, it's a waste of space, it's a waste of ink. And this one is a particular crime because it's in a very key position on your resume and you've wasted it by talking about yourself. It's far more powerful if you start talking about them and their needs. People are far more interested in themselves than they are in other people. We have this saying, that person talks my language, and we're both talking English. So why do we say that person talks my language? Because it's got nothing to do with language. When we say that person talks my language, what we're actually saying is their view of the world and my view of the world match. There's a connection here. Now, if you don't have a view of the world, if you never put forward a view of the world, how do you ever make that connection? Your resumes, not your covering letter, but your resumes have to have your view of the world. Most resumes I see, if I look at your resume, I have no doubt it'll be the warranty document. It'll be a dry list of information where you're expecting people to sort through and try and find something that might fit their organisation, and guess what? They don't do it. The more we spoon feed them, the more we give them a connection between this job and you on your resume, the better that resume will be. Full stop.